Hello everyone, my name is Desen. I'm here to show you my next week, my second week here in my zombie game. Well, this week what I did was basically improve my behavior tree, my zombie behavior. What I did was an alarm system. What that means is that when you're walking in different surface, like I have here, I have grass, soil, wood, and concrete. You have a chance to report an alarm, a sound that tells the zombie, "Hey, look at me." And if you hear another weird sound, like an alarm, you are going to go to my position. But if you don't hear anything else, then after like 5 seconds, I'm not sure how much time, what are you going to do is begin wandering again. So the alarm system is not working yet because I did it is not exactly how you have to do it. I'm not sure, maybe if it is a way to do it, but in this project I don't know why it's not exactly working. Probably the reason why is because I have a lot of zombies, and well, I'm gonna explain you in the coding why. But let's begin. The first was my character could walk in different surface. So what I did was let's go to brain graph. What I did was mannequin animation and an MVP. Well, what it was a system that as soon as I am walking or running or doing whatever else, I'm gonna throw an event that is going to call the original blueprint, third-person blueprint. So I go every time I check, I do a step, I go to my third person. When in there, I did this detect surface and make noise. Really big, but quite ordered. It's good. What I did is, if first ask, I'm doing a left or right foot. Why I did this? Well, in some games you can do it like you put your character location and only ask where I'm working on, and that's working. But if you want a more accurate system, you have to do every step, ask where is every step. So what I did was like here I select true for left foot and false for right foot. So if I'm doing the true, that means I'm doing the left foot, like is here, and false the right. That this select what it does is choose on the mesh, on the skeleton, this bone, this bone from the foot. So once I got that second location, I'm gonna trace a line a bit above and a bit below that point. This system, what does is make a trace like a line, like you see here. Every time I walk in, is doing a line. Then this line have a property that ask which surface am I doing. Well, in UE4 you have to do it a bit special here. To create a new surface, you have to go to physics and create new physics surface. like it is here. Concrete, soil, grass, good, gravel. Maybe I will do more, but by now that works. Then you have to create a material like this one, and inside his properties you have to tell him which surface is. Here in physical material, I'm solid physical material, hierba, that is grass in Spanish. Okay, so once you are related both, also you have to do physical material that connect with the physical material in the project setting. Well, why you have to do these 3 steps? Well, maybe for example you want to do a different soil surface, like one is with a really high friction and the other is like really low friction, but both are soil. So that's the point. If you want to do several options, several variation between each one, but in the end it's the same surface, because maybe you want to do a concrete zone, a soil zone, independent in a concrete soil, a soil surface that make a soil zone, but you don't mind if that surface is with higher density or not. Is just another element, but the core is the same. I'm not sure if you understand me. Maybe if you have some doubts, ask me in the comments, because maybe it's a bit hard to explain. But basically you can do the good point about UE4 is that you can personalize everything. You can set everything as you want. You don't have to, and that's the bad point at the same time, because for example in Unity you just select that and it's working, but here when you do whatever option you choose, you have ton of possibilities, and that's maybe is a bit harder. Then, well, if that line cross something, if it's something, I create a branch, and if it's true, I switch on every surface. So let's make just one, and then the others is the same. If I want to do concrete, I go up here. Let's begin with something like soil. If I want soil, I go up here and I ask which type of movement I doing, and you probably watch why that's important. Well, this is quite important to show you, because before I did something of this, I have to do this like game design before, and here what I'm doing is set the parameters of this. When you're walking, you have a chance to report that noise, but at the same time, if that noise is a report, is that make a noise, has a chance to alarm and a chance to activate that alarm. So if I make an alarm, I make a loudness. This distance to here, I explained you in the first week that it was 1 is 100%, so 0.75% So if the zombie here 20 meters away, that means that that zombie here 15 meters away. And the type of sound that is going to throw when I do the foley, that probably will be the next week or something like that. So this is the system. Not every time I want to make a report. So here I make two functions. And a good friend of mine told me about function when he told me about that. And the good point about making function is that if you are coding and you are copying something, you are doing something wrong. What I mean is, I want to do get location, make noise, play sound, and again here, get location, play sound, blah blah blah. This is going to make quite messy and it's not going to work. So I did two types of functions. One is a function that have a chance to report an alarm, and the other is the normal step. That means that only can do a normal noise. So let's check first the normal noise. Here what I did was a function that asks which is the loudness that I want to make that system, which is the sound that I want to make when that step sounds. Then which this step have a chance to report that noise. That means every time that I make a step, I'm going to throw a noise, or it's just a chance. And then, well, if that have a chance, which percentage is going to be? How I make this? Well, percentage is quite easy to do. Like I did here is get a random number between 0 and 100, and then if that number is less or equal, my chance is going to be true, is if more is going to be false. So then I did this. I set alarm false because in this system, like I told you, is not working like I want to, because I could explain it, but I don't know if you're gonna get lost more than you are. But let's make an example. When I'm making noise, I said that noise is an alarm, and then the zombie asks to the player. Asks to the player, oh, that song is an alarm. Right, it's an alarm. So make an alarm value inside the behavior tree. But this has a problem, because you can be shooting and walking at the same time, and that will be an alarm zone because you step activate an alarm, but at the same time you are doing a shooting zone. So is quite contradictory. So the solution that I get to this, that I'm going to do in the next week, is set a tag. Alright, and I will explain you in the next week, because if not you are gonna get quite lost. Then, well, I make a noise with that parameter that I set, and where that song is going to be, and when place that song at location. That is if I don't want to get an alarm noise. But if I don't want to get an alarm sound, what I'm going to do is a function that asks which is the alarm sound that I want, which is the step sound that I want, which is the report noise to that, the chance, which is the chance to alarm, which is alarm loudness and normal noise loudness. So first I get the chance to report that sound, as you saw here in this system that I create. For example, when I'm walking on soil, I have a 7% chance to report that sound. So if this chance is true, I'm gonna continue, and then I'm going to ask this sound that it's sounding is an alarm or is not an alarm. So I set a chance again. If that chance is true, that means that is an alarm. So I'm gonna make an alarm, send an alarm true, make that noise, and place on a location. If that song is not an alarm, I'm gonna set alarm false, make that noise, and so on. As I said, alarm is not this system is not a good system, but it's a normal one that will do like this, make noise, and here you have a tag. So you can here set on the tag alarm, and then make a branch, and the condition is equal equal string, and you say, oh, if equal tag, so if that song is an alarm, so it's working. As I said, maybe if you only want in your project like one enemy, this is a good system because it's going to work. But if you want to do a lot of enemies, this is not the best solution to that. I hope you understand. As I said, like I said, if you don't get it, ask me on the comment. I try to solve your doubts as soon as I can. Right, so in this shitty thing is because I want to test everything, because I don't know why this isn't working. Well, once that's working, right, I do test the surface. Right, so depending on which property I want, I'm gonna do different thing. For example, here if I'm doing a fast walk, so I'll have 14% to report that noise. So here in fast walk, report noise at 14%, chance to alarm 40%, alarm loudness 1, normal noise loudness 0.9, and so on, the sounds. So that's quite easy. This is what I want to do. For example, if I don't want to make that system, like let's go to walk on concrete. For example, if I'm walking on concrete, I'm running, walking. I'm gonna do a normal noise, and that noise have a chance to report the noise. If this is if set to false, it always is gonna throw that noise. That's the point to do this. And well, the noise of the movement is 0.5, and so on. The chance to report noise is 5%, and so on. So that's the way that I did. And for example, a good point, make a function here, is that now I make an error in the alarm error. So now if I want to fix this system, I only have to go to report an alarm noise and change this function, and every time everything else is going to work. If I didn't do that function, I have to go every step and change every step over and over and over. That's why if you are copying something over and over in coding while you're coding, that's a signal that tell you this is not the best way to do it. So once this is set, I set to the zombie and do the next thing. This is the same that the previous week, right? The bad point is that I have to cast to the third person character and ask him, this song is an alarm. I explained you before what's the problem of this, but always cast to something is not a good point. If you can make a different solution, evade that point of cast to something is better, like the tag option. But well, if that alarm is true, you are gonna set the alarm to true. You're gonna save the stimulus location and then set the alarm to true. So here in my zombie behavior tree, if alarm is set to true, you're going to look the source. I'm gonna play first this and then the other. I'm gonna make first get a target location. Rotate to that target location, and then increase how many times I was alarm, because I told you that if I was 2 times alarm, I want to go to chase. So if I set alarm more than 2, I'm gonna activate is here something and it's going to go to that location. I hope you understand it. Maybe I'm not explaining well. I'm trying to do my best on that. One problem that I have here is that when I set this, I didn't set alarm. It's not set in the other behavior tree. So when this began, this go to this tree, have to finish this last task to make the rotation. So make sure you have always have another option with higher priority. The lower priority have this same option, this same value with a cancel system, with an abort system, because if you don't do that, it's gonna do whatever is do here, and when this whatever you do here is finished, you're gonna come back to the root and ask what I want, what I can to do. Sorry, what can I do? So I can do this? No. I can do this? Yeah. So this goes this way. I hope you understand that. Then the last point that I'm going to change, because this alarm system is gonna be the same, so but the only change is gonna be the tag, so no problem about that. What else? Because I have some errors. Right. So the next thing is that song isn't an alarm, is false. What this zombie is going to do is get that distance. I'm gonna explain right now what is this, and then set target location that is here something to true. Well, what's this time accurate? Well, I create another function that make the next thing. What I wanted to do, that I also explained, I think that I explained the first week, was if you are close to that zombie, this zombie is gonna stay quite close to you once he hear that song. But if you are quite away, like, I don't know, 100 meters or whatever far you are, he's gonna get closer to you, but this zombie won't be accurate. That means if, for example, you are shooting like 3 streets away, like 50 meters away, and there are a bunch of zombies away from you, those zombies are going to hear that noise and are going to go to your position, but it won't be accurate. Will be like, I don't know, 8, 10, whatever I select, but it's gonna change that target location to recreate that system that what try to make is like, I can hear you, but I don't know exactly where you are. So how I did this? Well, first I get from the sound source, sound stimulus. Sorry, oh my god, too much thing. I get the stimulus location, and once I get that stimulus location, I ask the next thing. Get distance to what make is, well, how far are you from this target, so yourself and the other actor, that is the player character that making the sound. If I want to make this online, I have to change a few things, but step by step to make it harder. If that distance is greater than this, is less than this, you are going to save an array. Well, why I make this? If I want to make a normal system, like you probably try to do, what you're going to do is like branch. Are you 20 meters away? Yeah, so at this, if you aren't, like create another branch and the next option. So this, if you have like 20 options, this is quite messy. So a good point to make this is make an array and set a bunch of options. Then ask to the array which is true. The first true that you find is gonna fire off. So that's a good point. So remember that these are in centimeters, right? So this is 20 meters, 28, 35, 50. So you are below 20 meters? No. So the next one, you are below 18, 20 meters? Yeah, so this is true. When this function is going to find that number one, is going to send this info to the switch on. So like the option true was 1, is gonna fire off the first option. And here what I'm going to do is get a displacement, set a displacement. This value, you may be asked, why the heck are you doing this displacement? Well, let's explain this. First, you get the target location, I get a random point in the navigable radius. The region is the stimulus cells, at the radius where you can be closer or farther is that displacement. If you are asking what the heck I'm doing, this is because of this. You can fire off 2 nodes at the same time. So that's a problem. So the best point to make it, the best solution to this is simple, set that displacement and then ask to the radius that displacement float. So that location is going to go to modify the stimulus location. Everything is working. It's going to go to this branch and move to that location. That's the point of this. I hope you understood everything. Like I said tons of time before, ask me if you don't know how to make something or you don't understand something. Probably if I write this will be easier, but well, I have to learn English at some point, so this is a good point to start. I hope you understand. And the next week, what I'm going to do? Well, I want to do the foley about. I would like to do that because I want to create that step sound and so on. You know, in the music channel to talk about this. Probably what I'm going to do is fix this system of watching me with the tag, with the large system, but I want to do something else. This is what I want to do. I want to be like my character, right? I don't know, imagine this is again, right? Shooting or whatever the heck I'm doing. I'm walking, right? So this makes an alarm, right? So here is a zombie. Yeah, and a full artist. You know that, right? Right. This zombie hear me. So what I want to do, instead of rotate his location to look at me, I just want to rotate his head to look at me. If that rotation is more than his zombie can, for example, you can rotate up to here or up to here, it's gonna save the max point his head could rotate. So that's one thing that I want to do this week. This is easy, but you have to do something about the bones and so on. So that's the point that I would like to do. The other thing that I would like to do is test a level that I already said. I know where I want to base this. Would like to be like 70, 80 Japanese street style. I like a lot that. I like to do like scripts and so on and make a system where I can set a map, right? I set a map, but the house and what it is inside that house is procedural. That means it changes between a lot of values. That means that every time you run this game, it's gonna be slightly different. Maybe, I don't know, you can find bullets here and some special thing here, but in the next game you play, that bullet won't be there, and that thing that you find won't be there, will be in another. Maybe you have a world, like really bad world with nothing, no weapons, anything. Maybe you have a world with a tons possibility, like full of thing is random. So each player have an special and unique experience. So that's the other thing that I want to do. And the last thing is a system that make a survival state. I want to make a hungry state, right? A hungry state, a sleep state, and thirst state, and infected state. I'm gonna explain everything because I want right now. Well, how this works? The hungry system, you have to eat like in other game, but if you are hungry, you can sprint and basically that. If you are sleeping, you are going to get like a foggy in your vision, making things harder to see. Probably you can run at top speed. If you are thirst, you only can walk. That make quite shitty place. And this, the good point of this, like probably if you are full of everything, you won't be walking. You will be running away like every strip. But if you are forced the player just walking, it's gonna try every aspect of this game. So I think the idea is quite good. And the last point is infect. I know that in every game you have a health bar and so on, but I don't want to do this here. If a zombie touch you, you are screwed. It's over for you. That means if a zombie touch you, what that means is you get infected, and you have like I don't know, a time of play where all your sensitive, I don't know how that works, I can say that word, like your movement, everything that you do with your character is going to be fuck. So that's something important too, because yeah, zombies are easy to kill, there are tons and are easy to flee of them, but if one zombie touch you, it's over for you. You have like, I don't know, I think like 20 or 30 minutes of gameplay where your sense are getting worse, and then you die. So that's a good point about this game, because everything is going to say, all right, this is quite easy, quite easy, quite easy. Well, once your food, your water, your ammo, your sleep time is going to tell you each time, oh, you can't do this, be careful, because once a zombie hit you, it's over for you. There's no more game. And like this war is different every time. You are going to repeat this experience. This experience is unique. You can repeat it. The next one will be different. So I hope you understand that. Like I do. Well, subscribe if you like it. Press like if you like it, and oh my god, the bell too. That's important. Hope to see you in the next week talking about my next improvement. I'm Desen. See you later.